Hey everyone, it's Jason and welcome to another One Piece the card game. Starter deck, this is number 10. This is the Ultra deck, the 3 captains. So this is a big, giant, thick box because it comes with some extra stuff. It's a little bit more costly than the other starter decks, but otherwise it essentially functions the same way. So one definitely cool thing about here is we have the 3 big captains here. We have Law, Eustace, and Luffy, of course, who you're going to get. You're going to get 1 copy of each captain. Typically, in a starter deck, you get 1 captain. Here you have 3 different ones. Now, there's no rule changes that let you play as all 3. It just gives you the option to switch to which one you would want at the beginning of the game, and kind of customize your deck around that. So yeah, we're going to get the 1 leader card, 2 side leader cards, 10 Don cards, a play sheet. We're going to get a clear case and our 50 cards. Our types are we have 11 commons, 1 rare, 4 super rares, and 3 leaders. Again, starter deck, they just put these rarities in there so if they ever reprint them, they have a rarity to go by. Also probably for difficulty and stuff like that. So let's just look at some of the quick basic stuff. We're going to get our rules. So not going to go over it. We're going to get our quick play mat, play area, very blank, very generic, but it gets the job done, right? Which is what matters. Get that out of the way. We have a deck box with the cover art of the box. We have Luffy, Law, and Eustace on there. On the back, this says One Piece. Opens up, you can throw your deck in there. Still hold probably like 100 cards. So here's our 50 card deck, plus our 10 regular cards, plus our 3, so 63 cards. It's not even, just a little over half. So yeah, so probably hold closer to like 100 cards in there. So you put multiple decks, so they give you a little deck divider. So you can put your 2 different decks in here, or if you just separate your leaders from your deck, or extra cards if you want, like stuff like that. So it's definitely cool. I don't mind getting these if you play the game a lot. For just a collector, though, which is more what I am, I don't really have any use for this deck box. So for me, it's just going to kind of probably sit around. I'm going to throw extra cards in there occasionally. But I still definitely need. I would personally, again, rather have this stuff be extra add-ons I could buy. This, card sleeves, things like that. And then let me just have my deck, but that's just me, right? Not everybody. Some people love having those. I just like to have a reduced cost. So the first thing we're gonna look at is we have our 10 Don cards. They have the green and white backs. Other than that, they're the same as any other Don cards from any other starter deck or anything else, except their foil, which I really like. I like their foil just because, so some of each booster pack, I have a little crease in that one. Each booster pack has Don cards with special artwork on it. So it's not just the symbol here, probably the word Don in Japan. Japan, in Japanese. Yeah, so they have different artwork on the cards. I'm always like, oh, if I could get enough of these, I could make my 10 cards all have different artwork. So having a foil version is kind of cool, because then if I have to have Don cards, I can at least supplement them with foils, just to make my deck stand out a little bit more. So that's definitely awesome there. Alright, then we're going to look at our beginner character cards. So we're going to look at our 3 pirates. They are all red and purple, so they're dual colors, which means now you can make a double deck. I think this is the first starter deck that's had 2 colors. Most of them have always been just 1 color, so adding some starters you can pick up with multiple colors is neat. Plus, again, having 3 different leaders means you can kind of tweak your deck based on which character you might want to play more. Plus, these have some really fantastic foils on there. So it's his energy and his sword there foiled, flying around him. Alright, so Trafalgar Law is a heart pirate who has activate main once per turn, Don -3. Place up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less at the bottom of the owner's deck, and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So this is his, clarification for people that haven't seen my other One Piece videos. I haven't seen a lot of One Piece. I've read up through Skypia, right, like Impel Down. And so anything after the time skip, though, I have very, very little clue on, which is where a lot of these sets are on. So I know vagueness about some of these. I know he has a spatial ability, he can create things, he can teleport things. That's what his ability here is. Up next, we have good old Monkey D. Luffy, part of the Straw Hat crew. It's also interesting to note, he has 4 life, Luffy only has 3, so they have different life totals. But different power levels and stuff too. So here he is doing, I'm going to drop this down so we can look at this spoil a little bit better. He's prepping up for, I'm guessing, one of his gear attacks. This looks like it might just be gear 1. It looks like it's just his black hand. Or it just could be his hardening hockey, rather. But yeah, that's really cool there. He has like interesting black like coat on as well. I'm not familiar with that. But he has activate once per turn. If you have 0 Don cards on your field, or 8 or more Don cards on your field, add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck and set it as active. Interesting. So all or nothing. Very, very cool. Alright, then our third captain is Eustace Captain Kid, who's part of the Kid Pirates. He has 5 lives, so he kind of falls in the middle, finds on the higher end. He's got some lightning. His Devil Fruit lets him manipulate machines or create machinery. I forget exactly how it works. On your turn, if you have 4 or more life cards, give this leader minus 1,000 power. When attacking Don -1, this leader gains 2,000 Don during this turn. Interesting. Cool. So those are our 3 different leaders. Now we're going to jump into the deck, which should be usable by all of them. So we're going to get 2 copies of our regular character. We have a regular super rare version of Monkey D. Luffy here. Oh, this arm swirling in the back. This artwork is just amazing. Plus that foil is really cool. I can always do without the foil along the borders. I like the little foil on like the marks and the energy. I'm not really a fan of foil on the rest of it, but that's alright. At least it's not covering up the text or anything. He has Rush. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a blocker, tail up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 or less power. Alright, so 2 copies of that. We're going to get 2 copies of Law. There's a purple one. And there's his spatial power. Definitely cool. So he also has blocker. It's on play. Don -1. Your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand. Trash 2 cards from your opponent's hand. And then our third one we have 2 copies of is Eustace. Definitely some awesome. He's a giant hand. Cool. So then on play when attacking Don -1, up to one of your leaders gains 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. But we have some more. We have 1 more super rare. Is we're going to get 4 copies of Roronoa Zoro, who's a supernova and a Straw Hat crew. So yeah, he has his sword gleaming there. Definitely cool. And he just has Rush. So that's cool. So now we're going to jump into, looks like some of the rare cards. And that's a bunch of foils. Not every card, oh, well, every card in here is foiled. So it also helps justify that price, I guess. If everything is foiled, makes an ultra cool deck there. So we have Nami here. Straw Hat crew. So these are more just kind of like generic foils in the back, but they're still pretty neat. I like the fact that, again, it's not the entire character. So you can see her poise log is shimmering, as well as her staff and her chains on her belt. But like her herself isn't actually shiny. Alright, so you have on play with the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat crew type from one of them other than Nami and add it to your hand. Then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. Cool. So you find Straw Hat crew. Definitely can't argue with that. We have 4 copies of Sanji, which his artwork is just fantastic, right? Just flaming kick. On play, if your opponent has a character 5,000 or more power, this character gains Rush. So actually it's all about rushing, it looks like. Which is really fun. We have 2 copies of Jimby, Fishman Straw Hat Crew. Ooh, that water effect there where it's coming off of his arm. That's really cool. Gone -1. Gone ×1 when attacking. Give up to one of your opponent characters -2,000 power during this turn. Alright, so we have some of them. Let's get some pirates from the other team, other crews. We have the Kid Pirates. We have Killer, who is spinning some kind of blades. Definitely devastating. On your turn, once per turn, when a Gone card in your field is returned to your Gone deck, tail up to one of your opponent's rescued characters at a cost of 3 or less. Nice. We have 4 copies of Sachi and Penguin from the Heart Pirates. So just kind of a little, oop, I threw that one down there. On play, if you have 3 or less Gone cards on your field, add up to 2 Gone cards from your Gone deck and rest them. Neat. So we have 4 copies of Gene Bart, also from the Heart Pirates. So we have 1 Kid Pirate so far. So he has, on play 1, you may rest a specified number of Gone cards. Add up to 1 Gone card from your Gone deck and set it aside as active. Oh, here we got another Kid Pirate. We have 4 copies of Heat. There we go. It's kind of like, ooh, look at that. The buttons on his jacket. That is cool. On your turn, once per turn, when a Gone card in your field is returned to your Gone deck, this character gains 2,000 power until the start of your turn. And we got 4 copies of Beepo, who's a Minx and a Heart Pirate. On play when attacking, if your opponent has more Gone cards on his field than you, add up to 1 Gone card from your Gone deck and rest it. So that's all about just placing Gone cards down and rushing. Lots of stuff there. So I think they're going to be based on just trying to get as much stuff out as possible. It's also interesting to note, the Straw Hat were our red cards. The other 2 have been purple cards. So again, like, if you're remaking this deck, you could definitely go through and add more Straw Hats, take out some of the other characters, or vice versa, take out the Straw Hats and just make a purple deck. Or there might be other Straw Hats that are purple, or Kid or Heart Pirates that are red, just depending on what decks you have. So you have 4 copies of Wire. He's our last character. Little necklace and buttons on there, that's really neat. Blocker, and once per turn when a Gone card in your field is returned to your Gone deck, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand. Alright, then we're going to get our awesome attacks. So let's take a look at those. We have 2 copies, whoops, of the Gum Gum Giant Sumo Slap. It makes his hand super giant. Counter up to one of your leader or character cards gains 2,000 power during this battle and take up to one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 or less power. Nice. I always love these because they're scenes right from the manga. They're really cool. Then we have 2 copies of the Gum Gum Kong Gatling. Maintain up to one of your opponent's characters with 7,000 power or less. Trigger, one of your opponent's leaders gains 1,000 until the end of the turn. Cool. Kind of interesting though that we're getting 2 Luffy cards. That's like probably what is that, Gear 3? Like a big giant top. And we're getting 1 for is that Usus, the Kid Pirate? But we didn't get any for did not get an attack card for Law. So we have Punk Vice, which looks like a giant robot, or summons a giant robot. main, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less and 1 dime from your dime deck and rest it. Trigger out 1 dime card from your dime deck and set it as active. Cool. Yeah, so there's lots of really interesting stuff in that deck. If you're looking to have, you like obviously if you like these characters, if you like the characters, if you like making red or purple decks, or if you want like more cards to add to one of these. Now again, the cost is a little bit more expensive than other starter decks, just because it has that taste with it, as well as every card is spoiled. But it's really neat that they always add them. It's a neat way to add things. I wonder if they'll continue with this periodically, or if this is kind of a one-off. Bandai here, who also makes the Digimon game, did a kind of like pumped up sort of deck like this for one of their characters as well, with some sleeves and some extra cards and promo cards and stuff. Give you some different options to like change out your deck and stuff. But then they haven't done it since. They made up to, I think, have 4 other decks already planned. So I don't know if it's just going to be a once in a great while thing, or if this is maybe a new thing they're going to plan on doing once in a while. And although I do love the newer versions of characters, I do love that if they go back and have some starter decks based on some of the older characters, it would be cool to see like a Baroque's Work deck with Crocodile and all the different team there. Or jumping back in and, doing some of the older stuff. I like to have East Blue villains, or just the original Straw Hat crew, like before the time skip. It would be kind of fun to get a new updated version of them. Alright, that's what we have for the One Piece card game, the 3 Captains deck. So there you go. If you're interested in what's in there, now you know. See you guys later. Bye.